Hello composers, this is the new spectroFOX MC1 USB MIDI controller for Composers Mark 1. It is small enough to use it on or next to the keyboard or while traveling or composing in a mobile workspace or on-site project. It is designed so that no other device is needed, but includes all necessary functions for a smooth and fast workflow for composing. Best fit for composers, sound designers, orchestral or electronic composing in a DAW. It is fully compatible with Cubase, Ableton Live and many others. With the MC1 you will get 4 faders, 4 potentiometers, 4 touch drum pads and 6 push buttons to control all necessary functions in the DAW. CC numbers and notes for drum pads can be chosen in an icon-based simple way via the built-in menu. Chosen values can be used temporarily or saved as different configurations. It is self-powered via USB port and needs no drivers to be installed on Windows or Mac. The MC1 is designed to compose faster. You can compose with one hand on the MIDI controller and the other hand on the piano keyboard. We have full functionality to control all important functions without continuously moving your hands around, using the mouse one moment and the keyboard for typing the next. Then switching to the piano keyboard, for example, you can control cycle, stop, play, record. You can do the bar one back or one forward, or you can undo and you can redo when you have short press or you have long press. Then you have double functions on the buttons. You have by the long press, for example, when you have the piano, you can mute here or you can put it on solo. You can press 2 buttons, then you can execute the quantize macro, for example, that I have programmed here. Here you have the loop selection and automatically play. That means you can choose the clarinet and then we do the long press here and it will be played and loop automatically. I'm going to show you a fast workflow now. For the violin one we have no CC data recorded yet. First, when you double click for the key editor, you maybe know the issue that you cannot click here with the mouse to the start. But now you can use the button here. Then you can record in parallel or you can do it in sequence. I will demonstrate the parallel now. You can either move the faders like this or like this. That is possible. Then sometimes you see this one here. This is an artifact, but it's no wrongly recorded. When you zoom in and out and or scroll, then it went away. So don't worry about that. And you can record very fast, of course, like this. That is possible. Then we go back to the start and I will demonstrate you the sequence recording. So now we start with the modulation. Or you can use the expression with the modulation together, that is also possible. So when you double click now to the stop, you can go to the beginning and we can hit record and we can record the breath. Here I have a delete CC macro. That means, for example, when you are here in the key editor, you can delete all the information and then you can do a re-recording. What something can happen when you accidentally double record the information you will have strange things that looks like a little bit DNA, and then you can execute the macro that deletes the CC with one button. I'm going to show you the drum pads now. In the drum pad menu with the fader, you can choose the note that is sent out. With the potentiometer, you can adjust the velocity. For example, C3 at maximum 127. Then you can directly record and change it. Or you can set all the notes that you would like to have. And you can play with 4 fingers. You can play with 1 finger each hand, or you can play with 2 fingers of each hand. Let's try it. Then, the drum pads are also compatible with the light guide of the piano keyboard, and when you hit here the button, you can scroll through the library, you can see the note, and you hear immediately the sound, and then of course you can play drums here. The MC1 is integrated in Cubase as a MIDI remote. You can freely configure to your needs. That means you can go to the edit, and here you have the channel and the CC number that you can choose, that you have prior set in the MC1 configuration. And what I did here, this is the short press. That means they have the cycle, the stop, the play and the record. When you have the long press, you have the selected track will be automatically looped. When you have the long press of the stop, you have the mute of the track. When you have the long press of the play, you have solo. Then you have the double press function. That means you can press the cycle and the stop together. Then you have the quantize macro here. I show you where you can do that by edit key commands. You have the macros that you can create, and in this macro you can put as many individual steps that you like. For example, here I have quantizing, and I quantize the ends. That means you can, in this event, for example, you can quantize it. Or when you only want to have a section, you can choose the section and you quantize this. Or when you press the stop and the play together, you have to humanize. So you are freely to choose. And then when you double click the button, you have the remote mapping assistant, and the remote mapping assistant you can connect to the button function, the necessary Cubase function that you need. For example, this one is not allocated yet, so you can press, and then with the Cubase function here you can choose whatever you like. You have transportation, you have key commands. With the key commands you have the macros here, that is important. You can choose your macros that you have created that you would like to apply to one button, and many others. Let's have a look to the mockup that I did. It was recorded with the piano keyboard, and the control was fully taken for the libraries with the MC1 controller. When we show here to the violin one, we have the modulation, breath and expression. Then we have the percussion section with the taikos. The taikos were recorded with the drum pads. You can record a rhythm with one drum pads and add the other instruments, or you can directly use all 4 drum pads to record a pattern like this here. Then also what I have used the humanize function. As you can show here, that you can do a variation in it. And let's hear the whole piece.